Alright, what's up, you guys? I appreciate it if you're watching this video and you've never watched my channel before. I appreciate you no matter who you are watching this. But I just want to tell you this cool story. I think you will appreciate it, especially if you have a love for the story so far, and for bands in general, and for stories. I think you'll like this story. So anyway, I'm just gonna go on and tell you a little bit about it. So the story so far is one of my favorite bands, period. Like, they're one of my favorite bands, period. I can't think of any other band right now that I like more than them. Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, I've seen them play. I've seen them live. I've had the time of my life at their shows, and just amazing. I've listened to their music so much for so long, and it's been quite a journey. Actually, I didn't realize that until now, but it has been 10 years. 10 years. And I guess you would consider me an older listener, possibly. I guess I'm on the other side of the camp. If most of their listeners are younger, I'm on the other side of the camp as an older. I'm 35 now, and I was 25, I think, when I first started listening to them. I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. But anyway, because I'm pretty sure I first listened to them in like 2014. It could have been late 2013, but I'm pretty sure it was 2014. We'll see. Anyway, so back in the day, I live in Maryland now, East Coast, busy small town, basically. A lot of beach traffic and not a lot of big stuff going on here, just busy, this is all we know kind of thing. But I used to live in Reno, and Reno is definitely a lot more going on there, stuff like that. And but anyway, I lived in Reno with my wife at the time, and we broke up. We got divorced eventually and stuff like that. But anyway, I was living with my wife in Reno. The year was like 2013, 2014, one or the other. I think it was actually 2013, because I remember where I was when I found out about the story so far. I was on my computer, and I was on Facebook, and I was just like on a music page, a band page, like Alternative Press or something like that. And basically there's a question of who are the most underrated bands right now? Who's the most underrated band right now, that you know of, And I was just like, oh shoot, this looks good. This is where you find good music, right here on one of them questions. And I was looking at people's answers, and somebody just said The Story So Far. And I was like, dude, what is going on? I was like, what's up with The Story So Far? That sounds awesome. I mean, I'm hoping for the best. I don't know who they are, but I'm really hoping for the best. And this is at a time when I was really looking for something, because like I was pretty unhappy in my life, pretty unhappy with my marriage and things like that. Just not really that happy. Trying to be, hoping to be, praying to be, wanting to be, but not really happy. And so I'm like, okay, The Story So Far. And someone else said, some of the other bands I heard were Transit. That was another one, Transit, at the time. Actually, no, that was a friend recommended Transit to me. But yeah, I definitely got The Story So Far off of this Facebook post. I was like, alright, The Story So Far, let's check it out. So I looked them up, I listened to them a little bit, and then the album I listened to was What You Don't See, which is that's one of their most popular albums. That's like that's not their breakthrough album, but that's like, yeah, it's one of their best first albums, most solid. It's like when they're really starting to come out and really people starting to know about them a little bit more and stuff. But they were still low key, they're still under the radar. But pop punk, and it's like, let's go, let's do it. And they got this energy. It's just like just like really good, but like good bass, good instruments, good songwriting, good lyrics, good beat, good instruments, drummers amazing, guitars great, vocals insane, like just everything is so great. And I listened to them, and they're a little bit different than what I was used to. I'm trying to get into them. I was listening to them, and they were different, just feeling like I don't know what this is. I'm not sure about this. Like I can't get into it yet, but I'm listening to it, and then like there's a song called Small Talk, and that's the first song that got to me. And I was like, oh man, I was like, I really want to listen. I really want to like this band, but for some reason I can't get around it. It just seems like it's that what's being said is a little bit too complex. It's like they're really trying to say something, they're really putting it out there, but it just seems a little too complex. And so I was struggling. I was just struggling to get into them a little bit, but I really like that song Small Talk, and so I kept listening to them, and things in my life were changing, and I decided to break up with my wife and basically tell her I wanted a divorce and tell her that I didn't want to do this anymore. I wasn't happy, and that I didn't think I was ever going to be happy if I continued to stay where I was. And so we broke up, and that was really, really hard. And a lot of things, I was trying to make sense of a lot of things. And before that had happened, me and my wife were struggling with things, and I was just feeling really boxed in. I was feeling so boxed in. I felt like I was a slave, basically. I felt like, dang, this is my life. I gotta go to work, I gotta show up, and I gotta come home, and this is just my life. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't happy and stuff like that. So, but for some reason, listening to this band, the way they were singing, because a lot of the songs are about exes, or they're about love or relationships, or they're about comprehending hard things. They're about going through hard times with someone that you love or that someone you care about, and it's complicated, but it's like it's from the heart. It's heartfelt, And so what started happening was I started feeling this support from this band, like leading up to the point when I left my wife. And that sounds pretty harsh and sounds bad. And I mean, I guess it can sound off the bat like, oh, I'm a bad guy because I left my wife. I didn't leave her. I just said, well, I mean, I guess I did, but I just said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so sorry, but I'm done. Can't do this anymore. I'm so done. And it took a lot to get to that point. It took a lot of getting up the nerve to do it, getting the gumption, like feeling like I was able, because I honestly felt, this is the first time I've said this really, but I kind of felt bullied, honestly, in the relationship. I felt like, I didn't really have a choice about anything. I felt like this is just the way it has to be. I felt like I was being controlled, maybe even manipulated, but controlled. And it just wasn't fun. It wasn't fair. It didn't feel fair at all. And so it's a really hard thing to do. I mean, I was thousands of miles from my home. My home's here in Maryland. All my family's here in Maryland. All her family was there. And thousands of miles from my family, thousands of miles from everyone I know. And I'm here, and all I have here is her and her family and my friends, which are very few. And so I was just really, really struggling so much. Trying to get to the other side, trying to get to the side where I felt like things were going to be good again. I was just like, dude, why can't life be great? And I had like an optimistic attitude and perspective about me. But no matter what, every time I try to share that with my wife, it was always just like, seriously? That's the kind of stuff I would get from her. And it was just like, it felt so hopeless. It felt like nothing that I did or nothing that I liked mattered. It felt like nothing I found joy in. It was like, no matter what, if I found joy in anything, she wasn't happy. And it was like I was supposed to be unhappy like her, kind of. That's what it felt like. And so it was just really frustrating. So like I said, it took a long time to get up the nerve to leave her and to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And that's crazy. That was crazy. That was a crazy move. That was a crazy thing to do. I mean, because, not that it was the wrong thing to do, but because it was just such a hard thing to comprehend. Like, here's the love of my life, my dream girl, the one and only, the one I only want to be with forever, the only one, the one I married. Like, what? I better mean this because I married her, right? And so, but things weren't working out. Things were really hard. I mean, they weren't just hard. Things were really frustrating, and they were really like, this doesn't seem to get any better. And I'm so sick of this. This has been the same thing again and again and again and again. And it's not changing. And I'm trying, and it's not doing anything. It's not helping. And so, but anyway, along the way, as I was working up the gumption to talk to her and tell her how I was feeling, I was struggling so much. And I just didn't know what to do. I was so confused. And one of the things that really helped me was the story so far. Because the band speaks about it basically, to me, from my perspective, the band speaks about things in a way that I was not used to. And it was kind of contrary to what I was dealing with. It was kind of like saying, hey, you know what? It's like saying, like, I know exactly what's going on. And a lot of the songs kind of say this in a way. They kind of say, like, I know exactly what's going on, and I see right through you. And you know what? You think that you're going to go around, and you think that you're going to do this, and you think that you're so smart, and you think you've got this all figured out, and you think you got me fooled, and you think you got everything pulled over my eyes, but you don't. Because I see right through it all. I know what's going on. I matter just as much as you. I'm here, and I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to go down, without a fight, basically. Like, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm not going to let you use me. I'm not going to let you throw me away. And it was that energy that really helped me figure things out, because I don't know if you can relate to this, and I'll try to explain this in the best way I can. But, like, I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up, and, like, I never thought I was going to meet anyone special. I didn't think I was cool. I didn't think I was attractive. I didn't think I was a good guy. I didn't think anything good about myself, pretty much. It took a lot for me to start feeling good about myself. And when I finally did, that's when I met her. And I was like, she seemed really cute, really cool, and blah, blah, blah. But, so when I met her and when things worked out with me and her, I was kind of feeling great. I was like, wow, she actually likes me. Like, this girl's pretty cool. Like, she's awesome. Like, she's cool. Like, wow, actually, I'm doing pretty good, That's how I felt. But, like, there's this thing that can come from being single and lonely, where you feel so low and you feel so worthless and you feel like nothing you ever do is right, and it feels like you're never going to find anyone, and it's like impossible for you to impress anyone, and like trying to find, I guess what it comes down to is, I guess, kind of being desperate, feeling desperate, like you really need to find someone. Like, you feel like you can't find anyone, and it feels like you have to do everything you can in order to make them like you. That's kind of where I was, and it's like, it's definitely not the best place to be. It's not necessarily a healthy place to be, and so that's how I felt. And then that carried into our relationship, because I felt like I needed to do everything I could at all times to make sure she liked me. I needed to keep her on my good side, and I had to be on her good side, because what choice did I have? I had to be on her good side, because if I wasn't on her good side, then my relationship I would lose my relationship, and then I would lose myself, and then I would lose all this stuff. That's kind of some of the stuff I was feeling and dealing with. And when you're in that place, there's that, but then there's also this, and this is the other side. This is definitely a thing that exists in our day and age, and I'm not trying to be like too far to one side at all when I talk about this, but I just want to say that I notice this exists just as much as some other things. So just because I'm talking about this doesn't mean that I'm ignoring other things. I'm not trying to stir the pot at all. But basically, there is this thing that exists, and it is the concept that women run the world. And you might laugh immediately as soon as you hear that, but I'll tell you what I mean. So basically, women run the world because guys are chasing girls, and guys are trying to find that girl. They're trying to find the love of their life, and women are too. They want to find the love of their life too, but guys are trying to find that girl, right? And when it comes to finding that girl, it seems like, and this comes from a different place than I'm at. I'm not in this place anymore. I definitely don't want to engage in this at all. But it basically comes down to the concept of, like, you have to do everything you can to show these girls that you have to put on the best performance you can. Basically, you have to basically bow down and kiss their feet in order for them to even consider you. I mean, there's the concept that floats around that talks about all the time how guys are trash, men are trash, I don't trust men, things like that. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of concepts. And people who say those things have really good reasons to say those things sometimes, because they've been abused or they've been in some really bad situations. But the general consensus that guys are trash and that men are trash is trash. That's a trashy concept. It's not true. and nobody's perfect, but you shouldn't make guys feel bad for just being guys, you know? And so anyway, I was living in this life that was kind of female run. It was kind of just like, you know, you better make your wife happy. You better do this. And I could see it. I could see it in all the guys around me. I could see it, how nobody was willing to stand up to their woman, basically. And that sounds kind of crazy, I guess. Because, like, but honestly, this is the thing. This is the thing that guys go through, and they just deal with it, and they don't know. I mean, it's an ugly thing. It's a confusing thing. This is why guys walk around and look really lifeless, and they look like they don't have much of a soul in their body anymore, because they've decided to give away their souls to do this. And that's because that's the cost. The cost is your happiness. The cost is your soul, basically. And it's to give everything away for someone else and to live for someone else. And that can be a really honorable thing, but there's a really wrong way to do it. And that's what I was doing, basically, with a lot of other people. And it just seemed like the only option was to bow down to every female and bow down to all the females around me because of feeling the need to be with, to have one in my life, to have my wife in my life, etc., etc. And this is going really deep. And not just talking about the story so far, so pretty crazy. But anyway, I'm just realizing how deep it is. And so I was going through this stuff. But the thing that helped me so much, or one of the things that really opened my eyes and helped me get a grip on things, was the band The Story So Far. Because The Story So Far, it talks about love, and they talk about love, they talk about loss, they talk about relationships, they talk about difficulties, they talk about struggles, stress, strife, all kinds of things. Abuse even, I'd say, like, from like being manipulated and being taken advantage of, and the whole 9 yards. But there was this thing that I was starting to recognize in their music that was saying, no, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take this. You can take that and you can shove it, basically, because I don't want anything to do with that. You can get that out of my face. That was kind of the message that I was hearing in some of the songs, you know? And it was just like, it gave me this energy. It gave me this power to be like, I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to deal with this. I don't want this. No. Get out of here. I don't want to deal with this. Get out of here. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not going to steal my joy. You're not going to steal my happiness. Like, you're not going to take advantage of me. I'm not yours to be used at your disposal. I matter. I'm a person too. And I matter. And the things that are important to me matter. And so it was just this whole energy that said, you matter. And more specifically, like, as a guy, you matter. And so, I don't know. I just got that out of their music. And it was really helping me. And so, that's what I was kind of, I was getting charged up. I was getting, like, strengthened by that. And I finally had enough strength to be like, look, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do that. And I just realized that, like, it was like I needed to make a change. And it was either, like, be done or play games for a really long time. And I was like, I do not want to play games for a really long time. I want to be done with this. I just want to be done. I want to move on. I want to get out of this. I want my life to change. I want to be happy. I have no idea what life's going to look like on the other side of this, but I really need to do this. I really feel like I need to do this. I have to do this. And that's where I got to. And that was my point that I was at when I talked to my wife and told her how I felt and told her just like I was just done, you know. And a lot of other things were going on in my life too, changes and things like that were helping me see things differently, or, you know, they were causing me to see things differently. But I'm very thankful that I was able to make heads or tails of what was going on. I'm very thankful that I was able to make the changes I needed to make at the time. And so I made those changes, and I broke up with my wife, and I started doing things I wanted to do. I started having fun. I felt lonely and I felt empty inside because I didn't have my person anymore. But I also knew that I needed to work on myself. I needed to give love back to myself. You know what I mean? I needed to do that for myself, because if I never did that, then I was never going to get it. I wasn't going to get that from someone else. And I think that's the point. You can't get the love you need from yourself from anyone else. There's a love that only you can fill yourself. And I feel like you have to fill that. You have to fill that void. You can't expect other people to fill it, because other people are going to let you down. And you're going to let yourself down too. But there's a certain point where you have to take care of yourself. You have to give yourself the love that you so desperately need. I'm about to go through Chick-fil-A and I'm going to order a milkshake. And I'm not going to stop recording this video because I don't want to. And I want to finish this video, and I'm not anywhere near to being done. And I don't want to make this a 2-part video. So I'm just going to keep on going. Perhaps. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will make this a 2-part video. We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll see what I do. But, so I got through a different part of my life where I was actually, like, doing stuff for myself. And, which is amazing because I had not been doing that. I had not been giving myself the love that I needed, you know? I was just taking it, you know? And that just sucks. That honestly does suck. And that's what happened. It sucked. It sucked me out of me. It sucked my soul out. It sucked my soul away. You know what I'm saying? I had to get it back. I had to claim it back. So when I said I'm done, that was me claiming it back. So I got on my own. I was living single. I was living in my own little apartment and trying to figure out what life was, trying to figure out so much. Listening to the story so far and working my job, hanging out with my friend, talking with my friend, hanging out with my friends, and just like, you know, experiencing life, learning what life is about, figuring more things out about life, figuring out so much, learning so much, growing on my own, making my own decisions as a young adult, not relying on a person for validation, all those kinds of things. And it was very complicated. It was very hard and confusing. But I was doing it. And right around that time, I left my wife in like 2014. Right around that time, 2015, guess what happens? The Story So Far released their self-titled album. And boy, was that album a banger. Man, did that come out with wrecking. That came out on levels that was just wrecked. Get wrecked. You put this CD in and you were wrecked. It's just so good. It was so much of a banger. And I think a lot of people actually didn't really end up liking it in the long run. Or it was a little disappointed, some would say. Disappointing. But I didn't feel that way. I felt so happy. I was like, it's The Story So Far. I was just like, yes, let's go. This is what's up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I was just like, you know, that's how I was. Place is busy today, boys. Chick-fil-A, man, it's hot, yo. People are out here getting milkshakes, I bet, or something. Anyway, I listened to that album. I looked forward to it coming out so bad, and it came out. When it came out, I was going so hard listening to that album. And I had a couple younger friends who were on that pop-punk vibe. And I would hang out with them, and we would listen to The Story So Far, and we would go so hard. We would listen to like Neck Deep and Title Fight, and just like a lot of cool bands like that. Man Overboard, probably. Just bands like that, you know. And they would just get us so hyped and get us so excited, and we just listened to them. And we drove to freaking Santa Cruz, California. And we went and saw The Story So Far live in Santa Cruz. We just like went on a mission. We just went on a mission out there. And it was so fun. It was so fun. We saw them. They were playing, Story So Far was playing with, what's that band? The Wonder Years. And I was like, oh shoot, this is going to be so good. I don't even know. And I don't even know the Wonder Years like that. But, you know, let's go. This is going to be freaking epic. So we're out there, and the show is just insane. We're just losing it. It's just so good, right? So good. They're going to take my order soon, so give me a second. But anyway, it was so much fun, and I was learning, and I was growing. And things changed, and times changed, and I realized I needed to move back home, and I needed to change my life even more. So give me a second, you guys. I'm going to order this milkshake. You're so much more ready now. You got those shades on. That's what's up.
What would you like, sir?
Just a vanilla milkshake with no cherry, but whipped cream.
No cherry?
Yep. With whipped cream, though.
Can I get you anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Are you paying with cash or card?
Card.
Your total will be $561. You can remove it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. If it just comes up with that, just put it.
Yeah, so I ended up moving home to Maryland, and that was huge, and like lots of things were changing, and I was still trying to keep my vibe and excitement and everything that was going on in my life going. And that was challenging, and that did not quite work out, I guess. It just led me in a different direction ultimately. And but I was back home, and The Story So Far was playing in Maryland. I was like, dude, I want to see The Story So Far. They are so good, you know. And so I was like at this point where I was like not really sure what I was doing, not really sure whether I should go or not. And I decided to go anyway. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how I feel. And if I feel like going, I'm going to go. So, and that was like that was like not getting tickets right away. That was like, you're going to have to be lucky, and there's going to have to be tickets for you to get in if you want to go last minute. So it's like, okay, well, that's what I'll do. And so I decided to do that, and I decided to go, and I got tickets last minute, and I got there, and I went alone. My brother didn't come, but that was fine. I just went anyway. Had a great time. Gave some money to like this homeless guy out front, and I brought a little bit of money with me for merch and stuff, because that was my life. I was like, I'm about this life. This is what I need, merch in my life. And went in there, and I think it was like Basement. It's definitely Basement. It might have even been Citizen. And The Story So Far. No. I think it was Basement and Turnover. Yeah, Turnover, Basement, Story So Far. I think that's what it was. And it was just such a chill, low-key environment. And I was like, oh man, this is so epic. This is such a different turn. East Coast, seeing The Story So Far. And they had a raffle at their table for all this merch. And I was like, oh, let me get in that raffle. And like, I was like, dude, I've never won anything in my life, but you know, let's go for this. Let's do it, you know. And so I bought a ticket. I'm in there in the show, and I'm just enjoying it so much, you know. And like, I don't even think The Story So Far had started playing yet. I can't remember if they started playing or not. But it was either right before their set or like in the middle of their set. They stopped to call the raffle, right? So they're calling the raffle, and they called my number, and I won. I won all this merch, dude. I won like a signed vinyl of The Story So Far album. I won like a Basement hat. I won like all this stuff, dude. I won so much stuff. It was so exciting. I was like, I've never won anything. Like, I don't ever win these kinds of things, but I won. I actually won. And I was so excited. I just was so happy. So excited. Lost it. Just had such a good time, you know? And just enjoyed it so much. And so I went through some tough times after that. Things got really hard, and I kept trying to do the things I was doing, and it wasn't seeming to work anymore. And I was listening to The Story So Far still, but things were just like not working in my life. Things were really hard and confusing, and I got in a couple crazy relationships, and then I got into an even crazier relationship. And along that time is when The Story So Far, along the way leading up to that, that's when they put Out of It, right? Their single for A Proper Dose. And I was like, oh shoot, like this song's so cool. And I was like, but this is so odd. I'm in such a different place, and we're in 2018 or 2017 now. What the heck is life? You know, what's going on? What's happening? What's gonna happen? All this stuff. And yeah, so it was just crazy. But so yeah, figuring all that out, you know, just figuring it out, and dealing with it. And slowly but surely, Proper Dose came out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I had such high hopes and everything, and it was really good, but it was different.
Hi, what was the name under? I'm sorry.
She didn't take my name, but it's just a vanilla milkshake.
Okay, I got you. So you're all
Thank you. But yeah, I'm about to get this milkshake. Yeah. But yeah. So the album definitely hit differently, and it was like I was loving it, and it was putting off such a vibe that was just like seemingly just for me. You know, that's how it felt the whole time. Because the band meant so much to me, and I was going through difficult times again. Here I was in this relationship again, feeling undervalued, feeling confused, and kind of lost.
How was it, just a vanilla shake?
Yep.
Here you go.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
You too. And so it was just like really hard to comprehend a lot of things. Don't back up, buddy. Don't back up. He's backing up into me. Help me. Homie was backing up into me, dog. Anyway. Yeah, crazy times here at Chick-fil-A right now. Getting guided by teenagers. But yeah, it was. The album was really good, and I was in a rough place in my life, but it was helping me. Just like kind of the same kind of theme, and I ended up getting out of that relationship too, and that was hard, and I was invested in that too, and it had, there were kids involved, and that was just like crazier, but it got better, and I got out of it, and definitely was able to make sense of things. And fast forward, a lot of things have happened, a lot of things have changed. I went into I went from that relationship to an even crazier, to 2 more relationships, and they were, one of them at least was worse. But anyway, it was just crazy times, and finding my way, and eventually, like recently even, I really started listening to the Story So Far again, getting back into that a little bit at my job, kind of finding myself again, remembering parts of myself, remembering the old me, things like that, and getting back into the Story So Far again, and loving it. This van's license plate says stolen van. That's so funny. It says stolen van. That's awesome. It's hilarious. But yeah, just been some really crazy things, and but kept listening to the Story So Far. And then, I want to say, this past year specifically, I really have started getting into the Proper Dose album, really hard, really loving it, really feeling it differently, hitting differently, and things like that, and really loving it. And then finding out that the Story So Far is going to put out a new album. They put out Big Blind, and I was like, all right, Big Blind, this is cool. I was like, it's cool. But I wasn't there yet. It wasn't clicking. It wasn't making sense, It wasn't yet. Wasn't ready yet. I wasn't ready yet. And then they put out Letterman, and I was like, all right, let's go. This song's pretty cool. I was like, but I was still kind of nervous because, dude, what if I don't like the album? What if they've changed? What if they're in a different direction? What if it's not the same Story So Far? What if they went giddy? What if they got weird or something like that? Or what if they became lame or blah, blah, blah? And so I was kind of nervous. Yeah, I was nervous about the album and what it was going to sound like, what it was going to look like, and be like, everything. But I'm letting the sucker melt so I can eat it, so I can drink it a little easier. It's going to be so much better. But then the album came out, and I've been listening to it, and I'm like, dude, I love this album. I love it so much. And long story short, I just want to say that, the Story So Far is really... It's really helped me over the years. It's really helped me to... It's been the soundtrack of my life through some really good and hard times. It really helped me get through some times, And I just wanted to take the time to thank the guys in the band, basically, and Parker Cannon especially, for the lyrics, the struggles, writing about the struggles, dealing with the struggles. He and the band have been through some crazy stuff too, and it's insane. And you know what? None of us are unscathed. We all go through life with challenges and problems, we do, and it's kind of unavoidable. Actually, it's pretty unavoidable. But a lot of things have happened, a lot of things have changed. I've changed. It's 10 years, basically 10 years of listening to the Story So Far, and here we are, and this album's out, and the album's awesome. It's great. It's a great album, and yeah, I'm just really loving it. I'm really loving it. And so there's a lot of things to be happy about. I got a new guitar. I got an actual Fender Stratocaster guitar. That's pretty mind-blowing. I can't believe I actually have that guitar. But it's beautiful, and it makes me want to play the Story So Far so much. And now I can, and I'm trying to get this Fender amp from my friend, and so many good things, And I just wanted to make mention of the fact that, music makes life better. And when you find music that's actually meaningful to you, it can change your life. And it can make your life so much better. And it can help you through the hard times. And there is honestly so much joy and healing that can be found through the joy of music. The joy of vibing, listening to going to shows, vibing out with your bros, vibing out alone. Just the joy of it, The goings on. So I want to encourage you guys to listen to The Story So Far. It's such a good band. And yeah, that's basically what I got. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I saw them at Warped Tour. Yeah, one of the last Warped Tours there ever was, like second to last or third to last Warped Tour ever, in 2014, pretty sure it was. And amazing show. Like, I was so into them then too. And yeah, that's when they put out the Songs of EP, and it was so good. The acoustic EP. And Clairvoyant, that's when Clairvoyant came out around that time, you know. And yeah, I saw them, and they were so good live, dude. They were so good. It was so awesome. We were just out there in the straight up hot sun, like going hard to The Story So Far at Warped Tour. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you enjoy the story so far. Both ways. So I'll talk to you later. Thanks for bearing with me while I got my milkshake, and thanks for listening.